What's good, Detroit Sports Nation? I am Eric Vincent, your host here at the DSN News Desk. Thank you for being here. We appreciate your time and support. Still riding the wave of Michigan football, getting you ready for the Big Ten championship game. And when big times come, we got to bring big people to the stage. One of my favorite content creators here from the Metro Detroit area. You've seen her probably on Twitter. I'm more than sure you've seen her trash talking on there. She's also a content creator for Multiplicity Media Group as well as Blue by 90. And again, one of my favorite people to catch on social media. If content creators had a March Madness bracket, she would easily be a number one seed, and I'm happy to have her here on the news desk. Everybody, welcome Lexi to the news desk. How you doing, Lexi?
Thank you for the introduction. That was great. I love it. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Gotta go above and beyond, because that's been the energy right now for Michigan football.
Oh, yeah. It's go big or go home, so, you know.
I can't be mad at that.
All the way.
I can't be mad at that. So, yes, we appreciate you being here. If you give yourself a chance, follow her at GoBlueLexi117. We got a lot to talk about as we get ready for Saturday. Michigan wrapping up their regular season, finishing 12-0 in spectacular fashion. I was absolutely wild this season about what I saw. I'm learning a little bit. I like to be open and honest about things. Like, I'm a learning Michigan and college football fan as a whole. So I'm learning a lot from what I've seen, especially with how Michigan played. You've been a follower and a fan seemingly for how long? So why don't we start with talking about where your fandom comes from with Michigan?
Yeah, so I was born and raised outside of Ann Arbor, like 20 minutes north of there. So since a little kid, it just was always that, you know. I can remember the first game I ever watched. I was 5 years old. And it really has just been kind of like a love affair ever since. But it's been incredible. I remember the glory days, like even though I was like a little kid, but it finally feels like we're getting back to that, and it's just been like the most incredible feeling because just everything we went through as Michigan fans. It's been such a long and depressing journey these last like 2 decades, really. So it just feels good to finally be back on top.
Yeah, that's a good little resemblance between the Detroit sports fan base as well as Michigan. Because, yeah, we know what the struggle days feel like, but finally getting back to that
right.
peak of success is just, it's a great feeling. So let's kind of get into the 12-0 season. What were your preseason expectations after coming off what they did last season, winning the Big Ten, finally getting back to a playoff position? What were your expectations coming into this season?
Yeah, I mean, it was really just to do the same thing again, you know, and my biggest thing was I wanted them to beat both Michigan State and Ohio State this season. Because, you know, we skipped up and gave up that game last year, and it's still like whatever. But, you know, doing that was the most impressive to me. And that alone, because I knew once we did that, we'd be going to the Big Ten championship. So, you know, headed back there for the second year in a row, and you can't complain, you know. But that was really the expectations, is to always build up for every year, you know. So
I hear you on that. I was having a debate with a friend of mine. He's a big Michigan fan. His father actually was a player at Michigan, University of Michigan as a linebacker back in, I believe, the 70s. So we've talked about expectations for Michigan football. I believe at this point, and I want you to tell me if this is the same way that you feel and other Michigan fans, I believe at this point, because you said you wanted them to do the same thing they did last year, do you believe they're now at the point where, again, they won the Big Ten last year, you did beat Ohio State, and you made those big, you know, steps. Is it more than just beating Ohio State at this point? Like, have now the expectations taken a leap up after what you've done this year and last season? And kind of having that postseason experience?
Yeah, it's definitely shifted. Like, I think the floor now is winning the Big Ten championship. You know, get in there, don't mess around, beat Purdue, you know, and then just give it everything you got in the playoffs. And if we end up falling short, then I can't sit there and be disappointed. Yeah, it'll suck, but, you know, competing back-to-back for Big Ten titles is impressive in football, especially in the Big Ten East alone. So you just got to be happy with it.
Yep, I am mad at that. So let's talk a little bit more about expectations, because somebody I've been mad critical of is Jim Harbaugh. It's a lot of things it's been a long road for me to kind of cozy up to Harbaugh as a coach. And I might be getting there. I might be getting there slowly but surely. But he's had a lot of doubters through his tenure. You talked about the slow times. Talk about what it feels like now. Do you think he's silenced the doubters? And do you think now is the point where we can say, okay, we're in good hands with him? We know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone that signed that lifetime contract, I don't care.
Okay.
I don't think that he wants to coach forever, and I think that, there's going to be some word on the line where he's going to know like when to let go and build it up because he just loves the program that much. So, yeah, I love it because again, he's silenced everyone up in 2 years. I mean, you think from that Rutgers game in 2020 until now, like going on that win streak and winning back-to-back, Ohio State, it's incredible what he's done. You have to applause it no matter what at this point.
I feel you on that. All right, Go Blue Lexi 117 here with us at the news desk. I saw your clip on Instagram. I think we were with for Multiplicity Media for the Weekenders was the show. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so I saw your preview and your prediction of the game for Michigan Ohio State. But I want you to be honest with me. Let's keep it a stack. What were you thinking in the first half when things weren't going so hot, rolling in the game to start against Ohio State?
I knew from the get-go that is one of the hardest places in college football to play.
For sure.
And the fact that we just kept it close, and because Ohio State played lights out first half, I'll give it to them. They did a great job. The fact that we still kept it close and we're within 3 at halftime, I thought, okay, we got this. And then knowing how Michigan adjusts in the second half, it's at that point, all right, now I trust Jesse Minter to take the reins, and he did exactly that.
I feel you. Now, I have a take kind of on what Michigan has done, and Ohio State, and really for the season. They kind of go together. On my show, Beyond the Box, every Monday at 7, we talked about, me and my co-host AJ, we talked about J.J. McCarthy, where he feels at this point he trusts J.J. enough to be able to go into a game and win it if he has to. I'm not sure I'm at that point yet. I think, to me, my overall take from what I saw at Ohio State and as well as throughout this season is that Michigan is well-balanced all around to a point where I don't even think they have a weakness on their roster. And I think that's okay. I feel like let's say Blake Corum plays and he goes for, 25, 2 touchdowns and 150. He's clear-cut the best player of the season. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I'd say that for sure.
Okay, so I think because of Ohio State, how JJ played and how Donovan Edwards was able to help carry the bucket, I think them showing that balance kind of, to me, leveled my take that the balance that they have on both sides of the football, I think is a bigger and more accurate depiction of what they did than just saying, JJ went and got us this. What is your take on that? How do you think he played throughout that game, and what would your overall assessment would be in terms of what he did this season?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely getting questionable towards the end of the season. Like, okay, does Harbaugh trust JJ enough to go off? Does he trust him to make those deep balls? Because we watched him kind of, make them so close, like be a little bit overthrown or not thrown at all, and you get frustrated. And
right.
They kept saying that, we have a lot of meat left on the bone, and sure enough, they did. And it was a great step though for this offense. Because at this point now, he does trust JJ. And now we're going into the most important part of the season with that happening. Everything's clicking. It just seems like, everything's just falling into place. So I think it's great, though, because I was questioning that for a little bit, if Harbaugh really did trust him or not. And now I know, and the answer's there. And I think that he had to prove it a little bit more, but he did excellent at the shoe in doing so.
Definitely so. I like what he said that they didn't even change their game plan. They stuck with what the scheme was going to be, and it ended up playing out perfectly. I mean, I like how they played from top to bottom, and you see them playing complementary football and it being infectious all around. I love seeing that. How do you see the rest of the season playing out for them? Again, they got the Big Ten championship against Purdue. I don't think it's going to be much of a competition, and I think obviously you don't want to look ahead on your schedule, but to me, I think the expectation is y'all got to at least get to the Natty. What are you thinking about what the expectations would be for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I mean, as long as we win and Georgia wins, we're obviously going to stay 1-2. And at that point, give us TCU, in Arizona and wherever, and we control our destiny. We went into like the most difficult thing that we haven't done in 22 years and
Thanks.
stomped Ohio State at home. So at this point, there's nothing standing in these guys' way. They're taking it. They want this. They're hungry. Like they're going for it, and I'm like all here for it.
I hear the confidence building. I love it.
I know. It's just I'm trying not to get too geeked about it, but I just been really like deeply thinking these guys deserve it, man. Harbaugh deserves it, and he's just done a hell of a job here in turning this around from what was drilled far into the ground, might I add.
Totally agree. Totally agree. A lot of those guys, too, I can't wait to see them play on Sundays. Like Mike Martin, I'm super excited to see what they do at the pro level. Before we get you out of here, one more question. Speaking of pro level, you're also a big Lions fan as well.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think about Aiden Hutchinson and the strides that he's been making his rookie year?
It's just incredible. Beyond what I even expected him to do. You know, I always knew that he was going to be that go-getter, peak Dan Campbell type of player. You know, he is the epitome of a Dan Campbell guy, if you had a dictionary for it. But, you know, he's just above and beyond. I mean, and just continue to prove people wrong because so many people have been doubting and saying that he was a bust and saying that he's not doing enough. And now he's just not only doing better than rookies, but most defensive players in the NFL at this point. So.
Definitely. I'm very happy to see the stride. Yeah, it's been cool to see. Again, it's ramping it up, and you want to see that for this team, knowing what the Lions have been through. We hope we get to that Michigan level of success. We try to get there.
We're headed there, guys. We got this. We're headed there.
Hold on. Real quick, final score, what you got for the Big Ten Championship?
I'm going to do 38-17. We're gonna light them up.
Comfortable.
Hopefully those 17 are all scored in the first half because I don't think they're going to be scoring much in the second.
I'm with you. I'm going to go 31-17. I think it's going to be – I don't really see much of a push. Michigan gets his lead early. That's how they've been playing, and that's what good teams do. So
Absolutely.
I'm really excited to check it out. And I appreciate all the time that you've given us, Lexi. Seriously, it's been a good time here. Thank you for joining us at the news desk. Is there anywhere, anything else you want to plug? Anything else you want to tell the people where they can find you?
Not just the Go Blue Lexi 117 on Twitter and Instagram. So follow me there for all updates and a little bit of trash talking.
A lot of bit of trash talking knowing you. She got smoked for days. I love it. But thank you all for tuning in as well. We appreciate your time at the news desk. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel as we're ramping up to 6,000 subscribers. Make sure you comment, tell us what you're thinking about Michigan and what they're going to do for the rest of the season. Make sure you tap into our social media as well. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Search and follow Detroit Sports Nation. And tap in with yours truly. I am Eric Vincent. Lexi, again, thank you so much, and everybody for tuning in. We appreciate your time. We'll see you right here again for another update on the DSN News Desk. Peace.
Go Blue.